Yeah, for Andre. Andre, you watched Ben Bishop kind of close out some series before with shutouts. What does it mean to be able to do that in a series clinching game to basically keep the other team off the board?
Yeah, obviously, my first year, I was watching Bish playing, and he was amazing. Yeah, like you said, I think he got my rookie year. He had like two shootouts in Game 7. So yeah, and I was like, wow, maybe one day I'll be like him. And so yeah, tonight's the day. So good for me. We played well though. The whole great effort by our team, and just want to thank our team for that shout out.
Ed and Cena.
Steven, you guys look like a pretty determined group out there. And I know you guys have talked a lot in the locker room about the right way to play, this series. How did you feel about the way you guys came out tonight, just overall game?
Yeah, it was our best effort by far in the playoffs and the biggest game that we played so far. So that's what experienced teams do in those situations is they step up when it's time to step up. We didn't like our game last game. We talked about it. Like Vasi said, our team played extremely well tonight. We have the best goalie in the world. He shut the door. The penalty kill was great. The power play got one. It was just a 60-minute effort, and that's what it takes to close out series, especially against good teams. So it was great to be part of that effort tonight. We knew it before the game. We had a good feeling about tonight, and if you got to back it up sometimes, and tonight was one of those nights where we talked about it going into the game, and then we backed it up.
John Romano.
Steven, could you talk about the way Vasi played in the second period in particular when the score was still 1-0 and Florida had a push to start that period?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have full confidence in him. It was funny. A lot of people were talking about their goalie after last game, and I think our guy, obviously proved tonight to us why he's the best in the league. So they got a great young goalie over there, and we have the best right now, and he showed it tonight. So that's what you need in tight games, which usually they're going to be come playoff time, especially on the PK there. You need some big saves in order to calm the group down, and we had that tonight, and we were able to kind of go there, and then it was just a pretty textbook third period with the lead. We talked about being comfortable in those situations and learning from our past mistakes in this series, and it was a great effort in the third.
Joe Smith.
Yeah, Andre, you mentioned watching Bishop, close out games and shutouts. I guess, what did you learn that process of the mentality he had, and how much did your experience last year help you, coming into this playoffs?
Yeah, Bish, he was just so calm, so confident in the heat of battle, and it just, it could have been like 20-25 shot period, and he was so good and so confident in himself and in our team, and I just learned so much from him that year. And especially it was my rookie year, so it's he's as I said before, he's my mentor. So yeah, thanks Bishi. And yeah, so what was the second part of the question?
How much did your experience kind of last year, closing out the series and as a goalie, the obviously win, can help you as
obviously it's you try and you make mistakes, you kind of trying to get better every year, every game, every shot. So I don't know, just I guess more confident now, or I don't know, there's so many factors, and that's one of them.
Harry Fiala.
Steven, you get Barclay back for the first time tonight this postseason. He lands that big hit on Tippett, I think in the first period, and practically forces him into the bench. And then he gets his offensive game going and put some shots on net. Just how much does he add to the chemistry of this team when you guys are at full strength, and just what does he bring to the table like he showed tonight?
He was outstanding tonight. I mean, to just jump right in a game after being out in a while, and just the physicality that he brings, and that line, we saw how important it was last year, especially come playoff time. So they were great tonight. He was a huge part of that. Our penalty kill, they have such a good power play over there. To get a familiar face back there, a guy who's willing to block shots and be physical and take big face-offs. I thought he had an outstanding game tonight, and he was a huge part of our win, huge part of our team's success since he's been here. So it was nice to have Goody back.
Jay Retcher.
Stammer, you always talk about how there's so many leaders on this team, but when you get a guy like the Big Rig score that first goal, does it give you guys kind of that extra jump? Because, man, you know he does so much stuff that maybe doesn't always show up on the score sheet, but when he scores, it's got to give you guys some life.
Oh, absolutely, especially getting one that early in the game. So it was great to see him score. It was great to see that line. I thought Johnny played really well. He was flying all over the ice tonight, and then, Ross slotting back with them. He played great too. So, come playoff time, we've seen it, guys. Everyone has to step up, and you never know when it's going to come. It might come in first part of the series. It might come in a huge game like tonight where that ends up being the game winner. So that's what good teams have. They have depth, and we relied on our depth tonight for sure.
We'll do one more for these guys. Joe Smith, go ahead.
Steven, you said you had a good feeling before the game, or just a vibe. Just how would you describe what that was, or just the way you guys were talking, the way you guys were feeling, or just what you know about this group, I guess?
Well, I think we had a good game plan. The coaches, and the players, we have obviously watched some video, and we kind of changed some things around, and I thought it was great tonight. So we came in confident. Like I said before, we know how to win in these situations, and we fed off the amazing crowd tonight, and we got the job done. It was almost just a clinical game in terms of executing the game plan, and it was fun to be a part of.